This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, everybody, it's Tammy DeLu here on the Safe Space Podcast. And today I have a special guest all the way from where are you right now, anyway? Are you in Alabama?
I am in Alabama. I'm in my Anniston office, so I have two locations. I have one in Anniston and one in Birmingham.
All right, so he's an Alabama guy, and we always love his accent. Mr. Kenneth Reeves is joining
It
us today.
depends on where you're from. I went, you can go some of countries they just or some parts of the country they want you to just to talk to them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know about all that.
Well, we're
I
going to
hate
have
an
it.
accent.
As some of you know, I like to have some of my people, the advisors that I know, come on the show and talk a little bit about them, not about how they got into the business and what their philosophy is. Give you some insights into them personally, and the reason I picked Ken was because, I mean, he's done it all. I think he's done everything except maybe, well, you probably have done the you've done the Hawaii. Have you done the Hawaii triathlon or
I have not.
Ironman?
So I've done three half Ironman, and so I did Augusta, Chattanooga, and Raleigh. Raleigh was my first one, and then I decided to go for the Gusto, and I did the Louisville Ironman in Louisville, Kentucky, and I haven't done one since. I mean, it took me a long time to train and get ready for that, and I put on 1 or 2 pounds since I quit training a few years ago,
Oh,
but
haven't we all?
um, yeah, so I'm trying to get back in training. I wouldn't mind doing another half Ironman again, but that full Ironman is, oh my gosh, that's a killer.
Killer. I can
Yeah.
imagine. Well, I like to highlight people's what they do in real life because a lot of times people look at financial people like yourself and they go, "Oh, that's all they do, sit behind a desk all the time
Oh
and
yeah.
just work with money and they're real nerdy and they don't really have lives." But that's not true at all because you have a family,
Absolutely.
you have a couple of offices as you mentioned. You're still doing what, cycling, boating, fishing, hunting, all that stuff that Southern boys do.
Absolutely. So good thing about living in the South is golf never ends, so we can golf whenever we want to. So I'm an avid
Absolutely.
golfer, and I'm a more avid hunter. So I've been with Primos Hunting Calls. I represent the state of Alabama since 2000. I love going all over the country. I've been a lot of places with those guys, promoting their products, working big shows. My passion, probably Tammy, in the whole wide world is turkey hunting. I've got my Royal Slam 3 times for any of our listeners that know what that is. We may have some turkey hunters out there. You never know, but
Well, my
it's a
dad
big
was a
deal.
turkey hunter. My grandpa was a turkey hunter, so I know they're all and my dad did duck as well,
Oh yeah,
so
my son's a big duck hunter now. He loves that. He's all about some duck hunting.
well, that's the problem with that is I think you have to have super great eyesight, man. I'm telling you, it's like
Well, you got to be a
it,
good shot too.
you
So
got to be a good shot. My dad was a really good shot. So yeah, I grew up in as I mentioned before in Texas, and so I'm used to all that. I'm used to coming home, seeing Daddy cleaning the gun, getting
yep,
ready to go on up to the deer stand. He used to take me, but I don't like the blood sport. I used to like shooting skeets. So,
yeah,
they don't bleed and they don't squeal. So
yeah.
anyway, getting back to this, I wanted to talk to Ken about, it's a crazy, crazy world we're living in right now.
Oh yeah.
And first of all, tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get in financial services and what are you hearing or what kind of clients are you focusing on? What are they telling you?
Yeah, so I got into financial services through my dad, and he had been with New York Life for 30, no, 26 years, and I had went back. I worked on a federal facility. I'm really familiar with how federal things work, and it was a sunset job, and it shut down. And I had went back to get my master's degree at that time, and really thinking I would set my career up, and I had no intentions of ever being in the financial services at all. That was not my forte. And so once the job shut down, my dad was actually in Houston at the time, and he I couldn't find a job, Tammy. Basically, what happened. I mean, a lot of people go through that. They're midlife, and you're overeducated, you're overqualified for a lot of the positions. So he asked me. He said, "Listen, I wish you'd go, to Birmingham and talk to these guys at New York Life." And I said, my exact words were, "Dad, I'm not peddling insurance." Well, about another month went by, and I said, "You know what? I better go talk to them." And so I did, and I said, okay, you know what? I might be able to sell a policy, here or there and make a little bit extra money so I don't, really take a hit on my savings that bad, right? And after about a year, or as I kept going through it, I thought, I could get good at this. I really understand. I started meeting some people that were making a lot of money at it and that were successful with it. And I had a couple of, I guess you could say, like we say in the South, come to Jesus moments about me doing this, because I actually realized that I was helping people, a lot, and in a lot of cases. But I also noticed I didn't want to be captive. So after a year, I did leave, and told my dad, I said, I'm leaving. I'm going to start my own company, my own agency. And he said, well, you're crazy, son. You can't beat New York life. And so I did. I left, and then he joined me. He retired, and I started growing. I started changing my focus to retirement planning, and I fell in love with the industry, and that was 8 years ago. And I love what I do. I love what I do for a living. I love helping people. It's the best move. That mistake or that unfortunate thing, is a lot of times that happens in people's lives, of unfortunate circumstance like me losing my job, opened the door for me to be in something that I truly love, and I really do love this industry and helping people.
That's just, yeah, and that's, I had a similar story. The same thing, I got laid off in the 2007, 2008 kind of meltdown,
Hmm.
and I found myself in the same situation. And I just, what can I do? Well, I can write and I can market, so I think I'll just try that. It's been up and down,
Hmm.
but it's been great meeting people like you and some of the other people that are on Safe Money Trends, because I'm really picky, and I want to hear people say, I love helping people. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I want them to say that. I want them to say, look, this um, little old lady that I helped, she was on the brink of losing her home, but I was able to find money she didn't even know she had,
Oh
because
yeah, it's a big part of it. I mean, you know, like I said, I think that's one of the things I really enjoy. And some of the software that we use, software costs us a lot of money, but it's money well spent because of how it helps people. You can really go in and do some deep dives with, with people, and you can uncover what they didn't know they had. You can, you know, tell a little bit better if they are close to retirement. Could they have already retired? There's so many benefits about being able to help people doing deep dives, like these little old ladies that actually need help.
and there's a lot of women, and I find that women are very underserved as a rule, and we also find ourselves in charge of finances maybe sometimes when we have never had that responsibility before. And so there
Right.
is a definite need for people like yourself to go in there and work with people. So
Sure.
as you look around you, I don't know how, I mean, I'm at ground zero being here in California, so I don't know how it is on the other side of the world. What are people telling you as you talk to prospective clients and current clients? What are they scared about, and what are you helping them do, to help their.
So right now, I mean, I think everybody's across the board is afraid of the economy, and um, they're afraid of losing their retirement. We've had this great run, for 12, 13 years in the market, and everybody's made a lot of money in it. But as bad as this sounds, any monkey could have put something in, the market and made money. It didn't take, a true advisor. It didn't take anybody to go in there and make money. The market was doing it for them, right? And it was just a repeat process. So, a lot of people are dedicated to their advisors for that. And then when you point it out to them, it didn't matter where you go and you look at the charts, and we definitely look at charts in our appointments. People, they start to realize, but how well we had it at that time and sort of what was going on during that period of time. And you, but right now we're not doing so good, right? Inflation's going through the roof. Since 20, you've got, COVID going on. And if I don't ever hear that word again, it'll never be too soon, right? I mean, I'm so sick of hearing that and all the spending that's come from that, and all. It just has really wrecked our economy, So I do encourage any of our listeners, go out and change that in November. Vote for the right people and make sure that we can get a change going in our way. Because, Tammy, there's a lot of high end, a lot of wealthy people in this country, but the biggest majority of people are blue collar workers, and that's who's getting affected most. And those are a lot of our callers that call into the radio show, and contact us because they don't want to lose any more money, right? They've already lost enough. And, so they're trying to move their money into safer places and safer vehicles because this is what they have. This is right before their retirement years. When you're young, you can recuperate from all this, but not as you get older. There's just not enough time. We don't have that past 12 or 13 years that we had the last decade.
Actually, and it might even be worse than the recession of 2008, 2000. Was
It
that
could be.
2007, 8? It could be worse. So people are right to think that. And you mentioned, the blue collar workers and people without daddy's trust fund that are out
Right.
there just scrapping, trying to make ends meet. What do you find when they come to you? Do they have like a bunch of cash savings? Or we're looking at their 401ks and going, oh my God, what happened? Or,
So yeah, so they are looking at their 401ks and thinking that, and they are taking that beating. And so most people don't know how to go in there and reallocate or move their 401k money around a little bit. And so you can do that depending on the custodian, that has that. Savings though, I see people's savings just going downhill in such a bad way because they're having to take that with inflation rates the way they are right now and gas prices the way they are right now. They're having to dip into that more than they ever expected to, right? But there's a lot of people been saying this could happen, and I've been telling my clients for years this and showing them the past history of market fluctuations and the sequence of returns and sequence how those market fluctuations can affect their retirement.
oh yeah, I mean, we knew if you took economics 101 in school and you paid attention, you know that dumping that much money into an economy always, always, always has adverse consequences. There's
Oh,
never been,
absolutely.
and we've never ever, actually, this was an experiment because this was more money than had ever been dumped into,
Yeah.
and it wasn't just us. This is a worldwide thing. So I think people are a little concerned, a little scared. If they're within 5 to 7 years of retirement, what would you say their number one priority is right now? What do they need to be doing to feel a little bit better?
Well, I mean, obviously, you look and see where your money is, right? And see where you're getting hit worse. And, I think a lot of misconceptions about safe money out there, moving money over from something that can lose money or securities to safe money, is that it doesn't have the ability to grow. And right now, actually, is one of the best times to do that because as the interest rates go up, so do the rates on safe money products and different annuities that are out there. So it all depends, really, Tammy, on their risk tolerance. What are they willing to lose? So, I ask my clients, are you willing to lose some of your money, all your money, or none of your money? And inevitably, everybody says, none of my money. I don't want to lose anything. So then I tell them and ask them, why is all your money sitting over here in something that can lose money right now? And so then that opens up that conversation, you know, to some of the options that are out there to grow money safe and especially have increasing safe income.
Exactly. And so a good place to start would be maybe even if you already have an advisor, you need a second set of eyes looking at your portfolio, how it's balanced, what your
Yes.
allocations are, where you're
Yes.
exposed to risk, and then really getting real with yourself and saying, a lot of people say, well, I don't mind a little risk if I get a gain. But when you really press them, you realize they don't want to lose a penny. They don't want to lose
No,
1 cent.
you're right. And one of the softwares that we use, we actually go through that and we look at their risk, right? And and we ask people too. We ask people, Tammy, in our workshops. At the very beginning of the workshop, we ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think you are in your knowledge and how you feel about your retirement? And in so many cases, Tammy, they'll put 8, 9, and some of them a 10. But then I have the same scale at the bottom of their page and the bottom of their worksheet. At the end of the workshop, I ask them the same question as we go through it. And it blows my mind every single time. I don't know why I'm surprised by it. But those 8 9s, when I go back and look at the evaluation forms, they're ones, twos, and threes now. So a lot of people think they have this figured out, but then they come to a workshop and they really can start getting a grasp on how they really don't know what's going on right now.
So yeah, your workshops, those are awesome. You currently you're licensed in what 14 or 15 different states.
Yes.
Can you reel them off fast so I can?
I,
You remember?
no, I'll give you the best I can. So it's all southern states. So we'll start from Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee. Let's go back over to Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, New Mexico, Nevada. Then we'll go back to Central. Let's go Ohio is one, and Virginia. I
And no
think.
Florida. And no Florida. No Florida. Okay.
Yeah. No, I've got Florida. I thought I
Okay.
mentioned Florida. I got
Oh,
Florida. Yeah.
you got Florida. Good. And the thing is, if you're in another state and you really want to talk to Ken, we can. I mean, he can make it happen anyway.
Oh yeah.
Usually.
Licenses are they're super easy to get. It takes a day, and sometimes it's less than a day, so that's not a problem. Oh, Wisconsin. I forgot about Wisconsin too.
Don't forget about Wisconsin. Those are nice
I didn't
people
mean
up
to
there.
leave them out up there. You
Yeah,
know, we need
yeah.
the cheese.
You need the Wisconsin. You need the cheese. Well, anyway, the interesting thing I think about your approach is that you're really thorough with trying to get into people's heads and find out where they are and what their relationship is to money. Do you find people sort of have an adversarial relationship with their own finances? Or are they afraid of their money a little bit? Or, you know,
Uh, absolutely. And I think, and I hate to say that fear is what brings them in, but it is, right? And um, it certainly makes them pick up the phone and have a conversation. So everything's about a conversation. And one of the things that we do is we want to ask you, what's your fears? What are your goals? What do you need this money to do? And instead of having an adversarial relationship with their money, we try to steer them in the right direction. And there's a lot of people that we don't do business, we're not good fits with, but we always try to give them value, right? And uh, because I mean, obviously, for me being a business owner, I wish we could work with every single person, but we can't, and that's the reality. Just like Walmart wishes they could get every single person to come into their store, but some go to Target, whatnot. So even if they don't do business with Tammy, we want to make sure that they leave with some kind of value.
just a pointing in the right direction for, I mean,
Absolutely.
for you, what do you think is for Apex is your ideal fit, your ideal client? What do they look like?
Hold on just a second, Tammy. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry about
Stay
that. But
working.
close
You
the
working?
locking the lock office up. I'm here by myself now.
Oh no. Okay.
That's okay. I'm good. I'm good.
So
So
what I
ask
was
your
saying,
question again. I'm sorry.
yeah. So what I was saying was, what now that distracted me too. Now I'm thinking, what was I asking you? I can't remember.
I don't
But
know. We could ask our audience, but they're going to listen to this down the road. And they're going to be
well, they're
making
gonna
fun of us.
they will be making fun of us. No,
Yeah.
the thing is, when people come into your office, I think uh, they do so out of fear. So
Yeah.
when they leave, oh, that's what it was. When you point people in the right direction, people that don't fit your model. What is your model? What does your ideal client look like? That's what I was asking. Is when a person's saying, "Okay, I'm thinking about Ken. Do I even want to approach him because I don't know what he's looking for in a client? What's your
Yeah.
criteria?"
So, I'm not one of these guys, and I guess it really perturbs me if that's a polite way of saying it for advisors that require their clients to have a specific amount of money. Oh, we'll work with you if you have 500,000 or but in reality, Tammy, there's a lot of people that don't have that. They have 100,000, they have 200,000. So we don't put requirements on money for one thing, for starters. Some people just need help. They just need pointed in the right direction. So we will talk to anybody. We'll give them advice. And then some of those people become clients, and we have what they need. The second part of that question, is we look at age group. So if you're 30 years old, you're probably not getting ready to retire. So our target audience is generally over 50. Most are over 55 and going up to 65 and even 70 and 80, depending. I'm really shocked at how many people still are working at 70 years old or 72 or 73 years
Hey,
old.
Clint Eastwood still making movies. Come on, he's like
Heck
what
yeah.
almost he's almost 90. So some people actually like their jobs.
Yeah.
I was telling you about, I met a lady like that who was a dental hygienist and she's almost 70 and she wants to keep working because she loves the interaction with other people. And, you know,
Well, something else, Tammy, too, is a lot of people, and I think I would be. I'm a workaholic, but I do it to keep myself active. I also have a type A personality, but a lot of people don't want to, and including myself, I wouldn't want to be at home isolated. I want to keep working, and at least part time. I'm probably going to keep doing this for a long time, and uh, just because I enjoy it. But there are a lot of people out there that really, really do that. They're that way.
that's good. Well, I mean, there's so many things I could ask you, but I would say if a person wants to explore working with you, what would the process be and how do they contact you? And, what's going to happen when they first talk to you? What's your process, I guess?
Well, generally over the phone, our process is just having that conversation. We do a lot of our radio clients that way. We want to see their goals, see if we're going to be a proper fit with each other, see, how close they are to retirement, see exactly what they're looking for. What are they looking for their money to do? So that's generally in the first conversation, right? If anybody does want to get in touch with us and give us a call, they can call 888. I got to look at my number. We just got a new number, Tammy. So it's 888-644-5688. So you can go, you can call there. That'll be routed to us. And as we've been in this transition, and then we do have our local numbers, obviously, but that one will still get to us. You can email me at ken@apexfg.com.
What about the retirement radio? Where can they listen to that? Is there a
Yeah,
place people can go?
yeah. So you can go to retirementmaxradio.com and you can listen to it there. I think it's actually on the Apex FG website too, so our main company
Yes.
website. And you can also download the podcast. So it's anywhere where you can go to iTunes, Spotify, anywhere, Google Play that you can download podcasts. Just look for Ken Reeves and Retirement Max Radio, and you can listen to the latest episode.
Absolutely perfect. I really enjoy talking with you, Ken, and I'm going to stop the recording in just a minute, and then we'll continue our conversation. But I want to encourage everybody, reach out to Ken, even if you already have a financial advisor. He's really good about giving you a second set of eyes on what you're doing, giving you a
Yeah,
little more reassurance, maybe finding gaps in your planning that you maybe were not aware of. So reach out to him and also listen to his very interesting and entertaining it's called Retirement Max Radio. There's some really good information on there, especially in these very troubling times. So
absolutely.
I want to thank Ken Reeves out in Alabama for all his great work and for joining us today. And I hope that we can talk again soon.
All
Take care,
right.
Ken. All right,
Thank
thanks so
you.
much.
Thanks, Tammy.